Okay, everybody, welcome to the Telecom Infra Project Pavilion and the session that we have this afternoon. We have two fantastic guest speakers today talking about the value of community labs, the value of test and validation, focused on Taiwan, a fantastic ecosystem of telecommunications providers, vendors, operators, and also, I would say, community labs that we have within the region as well. So let me just give a little bit of an introduction first of all. So the Telecom Infra Project is a community trade association. We are led by our members and our participants. These are the people who drive the community and the ecosystem, the industry moving forward. Open RAN has been an extremely important topic for TIP, as it is within the industry. You may have noticed as you're walking around all the other halls that Open RAN is a massive topic. Key to what we do within the Telecom Infra Project is focused on test and validation, accelerating Open RAN systems and technology into commercial deployments. But those commercial deployments have to reflect the operator priority requirements for deployments as well. This is a little bit of a differentiator for us. TIP is not a standards organization. We work from the top down, focused on what those operator requirements are and how we can deliver them effectively and accelerate that as quickly as possible into real commercial deployments. And the way that we do that is through our project groups, defining common industry test plans, but we rely on our community labs to get together and do the testing and sharing those results with the community, providing those results to the operators to accelerate into market as well. And this is why I'm really excited today to have two honorable guests today to join me to talk about the experiences of what is happening in Taiwan. So we have Maggie and Tom joining us today, and I'm going to ask Maggie, would you like to introduce yourself to our audience, please?
Thank you, David. Hello, everyone. This is Maggie Chao from ITRI. I'm the Deputy Division Director, and I'm responsible for the international partner engagement and the collaboration projects. And I'm also representative for ITRI to the TIP activities, especially for the TIP Community Lab. Thank you.
Tom, please.
And my name is Tom Koh, and thanks, David. I am the CTO of Taiwan Mobile. We are the second largest mobile operator in Taiwan. And it's a great honor for me to be here and really discuss the value of what TIP provides us.
Great, fantastic. I'm sure everybody is welcoming you as our panelists today. It's going to be a great discussion. Maggie, why don't you start us off? ITRI have been members of TIP for some time now. You've been a community lab for some time. Do you want to?
2021, okay.
2021.
Yeah.
So talk us through that experience and about ITRI working within the TIP as a community lab.
Okay, so with the Taiwan support, with the Taiwan government support, ITRI has established the 5G Open Networking Lab in 2020. And we work with TIP and we become the TIP Community Lab and start to conduct the TIP Beige program in 2021. So the reason that Taiwan government would like to establish this platform is because you all know that Taiwan has a very comprehensive supply chain, especially for the 5G. So we try to contribute these resources by facilitating an end-to-end environment so that we can test and validate the majority and readiness of the product in order to support the deployment of the commercial environment. So as of now, we already conduct 4 Beijing testing. So the first one is the DCSG testing with the UV space. And then we have one for the open Wi-Fi with H-core. And now we have 2 more open RAN testing with the Alliance and QCT. But except for that, we also work with the operators in Taiwan, such as Taiwan Mobile, that we try to introduce this TIP program to the operators here so that we can have more society to join with us. And also we learn from the operators what are the requests and what are the challenges they are facing when they are doing the real deployment. So it's kind of, we are not just collect the Beijing to support to the deployment. We also want to share with the ecosystem partner that how Taiwan industry to contribute to this ecosystem from the both supply side and also the demand side.
And I think it's important to say as well that from what I see is that they're helping to support the local ecosystem to grow, to support the local requirements, but also to put on the map for the global scale is of real value to ITRI and the local community.
Yeah, agree.
And I can vouch for this because I know this, that there's lots of work that the ITRI Community Lab is doing, because it comes across my desk on a weekly basis and I have to sign off a lot of badging requests. So there's a great pipeline of work coming out of ITRI, not just for Open RAN technology, but also a lot of open optical and packet transport, and I think some open Wi-Fi as well.
Yeah.
So this is very good. But back to Open RAN. So, Tom, Taiwan Mobile, focus on Open RAN. Why Open RAN? What does it mean to Taiwan Mobile?
I think everybody understands that Open RAN really diversifies our vendor community. We want to be able to access a wide array of different vendors providing best-in-class products and be able to choose and pick the best out of them and work in our lab, and then eventually to our network serving our customers. So I think Open RAN has been the most exciting thing happening in the industry for the past 3 or 4 years. We're really excited. However, with Open RAN, I think if we don't manage it well, and if we don't set up the necessary infrastructure for that, then our sweetest dream coming true may become our worst nightmare. Because we need to have a solid validation of all the products as well as integration end-to-end to make sure that things work very well together. And just think about the situation. Suppose you have M vendors and you have M operators. What we get is N times M combinations of different things that we need to verify. So for us, especially Taiwan Mobile is not a huge operator with a lot of resources. Therefore, this community lab and the TIP program really help us to reduce the complexity. So basically, every vendor needs to be tested once. And we have some assurance that they meet the necessary end-to-end integration aspects. So we are confident that they can be used in our network without a lot of other additional testing. And this is only done once. So the local community can go to other operators with the same TIP program certification, so that with the metals, it means the same thing. It's a standardized and very good certification of what the product is capable of. So I think this serves both the vendors and the operators as well.
That's perfect, and you must have been watching some of the other sessions and my sales pitch that I was talking about.
Definitely.
Test once, deploy many is exactly what I like to hear as well. Is there a particular Open RAN deployment scenario that you're looking at targeting to start off with?
I think as a mobile operator, and we serve 7 million mobile customers, and Open RAN, I think it still takes some time to be able to perform in that environment. However, the private networks is a very, very good emerging trend, and there are a lot of opportunities. So I think the vendors would be great to use the private network market to test out their products and get some commercialization experience. After that, they can gradually migrate to the consumer market because with the initial private network deployments, they could enhance their functionality, their maturity, their stability, and their performance, so that eventually they can play in both markets. So that's our view of how Open RAN will eventually develop into a full blossoming product.
I like that. A very, very pragmatic step-by-step approach, focused on commercial priorities first, and then looking at the wider scope of other opportunities that Open RAN can present itself. May I ask, does Taiwan Mobile have interest in the RAN intelligent controller and the capabilities that this may offer you in terms of, XApps and RApps and controlling the network?
Eventually, but initially, I think we're just looking for products to run in the enterprise environment in private networks. So this could be all-in-one products, or this could be a simple, DU, CU, RU kind of the combination, either from one vendor or multiple vendors. So I think TIP definitely provides that threshold testing for us.
Okay, great. And Maggie, the ITRI Community Lab. I mean, sounds like you're doing a lot with different technology areas, that have different requests for resources and test equipment, so you're fully staffed and ready to go. Does testing for a private network solution of Open RAN 5G provide any new technical challenges for you to overcome as compared to maybe looking at a macro scenario, and how do you go about resolving those?
Okay, so open networking just it means that we are able to connect to different vendors, multiple vendors. So just like Tom just mentioned, there are N vendors and there are N operators you need to integrate with each other. So the perfect demonstration our government is always asking for is we need to connect with one vendor, plug in one vendor, and work immediately. So it's kind of this kind of work need a lot of effort on it. So before we start our testing, we need to discuss the test plan with our companies for certain cases. But when they comes to some cases that they cannot support or they don't have the function yet, they always ask us, can we waive this one? Or if we fail these cases, can we still get a badge? So it feels like a task that we're always thinking about how we can get a higher score in order to get a badge. But all the requirements are coming from the operators. So we discuss with the TIP. We just realized, for certain requests are coming from the operators in certain area or in certain operators. And the reason they are asking for this kind of the function is just because they want to connect with their access network, or they plan to integrate with some certain solutions. So I think getting the badge is very good, but what we think the most valuable part that TIP Community Cap can offer to the ecosystem is that we can get to know more about the details of the requests from the different users, different operators. So in a way, we can take this as a preparation, and we can enhance our vendors' capability so that they can catch this opportunity sooner. But at the same time, that all the requirements are keep updating. So not just from the operators, that also from the TIP Community Lab, such as, for example, TIP, each TIP Community Lab is also get the feedback, and we can talk to TIP. Especially, we just share with TIP that we have some interest from the operators about the energy saving and network management. So we also discuss with TIP how we can add some test case in this regard. So I think it's what TIP Community can bring to the community is a very dynamic society, and I think it's also why Taiwan Mobile would like to commit to join forces with TIP and ITRI to accelerate this deployment.
I think this is an excellent point. I think the work that goes on to the community labs is not just about doing the test execution and sharing those test results and a test report back into the community, which is extremely valuable, right? But identifying other areas that need to be focused on by the community, such as energy efficiency, such as management, network management, maybe security, and reflecting those back to the community so that we can start to develop new requirements, upgrade our test plans to include those areas of focus, and put those and start to test them and have them as a default in terms of the commercial grade level of testing for our operator community is extremely important. That's a very good point, Maggie. I know that we're getting close to time, but I want to ask one more question to both of you to ask individually. Imagine we're sat here in 1 year's time, back at MWC24, the TIP Pavilion again, once more. What are we going to be talking about on stage at that point? Are we going to be talking about success stories and new things, and what would those actually look like? Maybe Tom, you'd like to go first.
I think for sure we're talking about more success stories. You have more medals to be signed off on your desk.
You're going to keep me busy.
Definitely. However, I think everything evolves. The standards evolve, test plans evolve, releases evolve. So that we need to look into the future and really think about how do we manage the cadences and the new releases, because new functionalities do get added, so with the changes in the product itself, we need to really think about how we manage this whole thing in the future.
Yes. Okay, so shall we coin a phrase, Open RAN never sleeps. It continues to evolve.
That's right.
Maggie, what are we talking about in 1 year's time?
Yeah, totally agree with Tom just mentioned. We definitely will bring more successful case for next year. And the successful case will be more cases from different vendors. The successful case will be more partners from different platforms. And the successful case from more function that Tom just mentioned, new function or new idea we like to bring to our society.
So again, more badges for me to sign off.
Yeah.
Okay, you will keep me busy.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Busy is good.
This is what I like to hear. So I want to thank you both very much for taking part of the panel discussion today. It's been my pleasure to speak with you both. Ladies and gentlemen, please thank our panel.
Thank you.